Does being busier equate to being more productive? Recent research would suggest that this is definitely not the case. In this video, I'm talking about what true productivity is and what can often get in the way of running your freelance ELT or ESL business successfully. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, in many countries there has been a strong push towards working ever harder and ever faster. Recent research in Iceland between 2015 and 2019 looked at 2,500 participants whose working week went down from 5 days to 4 days with no cut in pay. And they found that perceived stress and burnout, as well as health and work-life balance, improved significantly across practically all the groups they studied. And, which is even more interesting, the productivity and level of service provided remained the same or got better across the majority of the workplaces they were studying. So this actually isn't about doing more. It's about doing less and getting the same amount done, or even more done. And it's not just about the number of hours or days that we work. Even more importantly, it's about what Cal Newport has called slow productivity. We have it wired into us that being productive means getting tons of stuff done and ending the day or the week with a long list of accomplishments ticked off. But the question we always need to ask ourselves is, are these the right accomplishments? Are they really going to make a big difference to our business? Or are we just being a busy fool? I recently took the decision to wind down my membership, and one of the reasons for this was that in a membership with more than 150 people, it inevitably means that there are lots and lots of tiny little tasks and moving parts. When we have too many things on our to-do list, even if they're just little things that can be dealt with pretty quickly, this contributes massively to a feeling of overwhelm. It's not the amount of work per se, but the fact that it starts to feel that the tasks are innumerable and that we're never going to get to the end of them. And that sense of overwhelm is what makes our executive functioning mechanisms feel uneasy. So reducing the sheer number of different tasks and keeping things simple and more streamlined is much more important for our well-being than the actual number of hours that we work in a week. When we're juggling lots of different things, we tend to become much less efficient. And so we then spend longer than we need to on getting things done and produce lower quality results overall. Cal Newport argues that the reason reducing the working week didn't lead to lower productivity, and in fact often increased it, was because having less time, having only 4 days a week instead of 5, meant that the workers prioritised much more, and they didn't feel the same need to keep busy and to do things all the time in order to look more productive. There's a huge pressure in society to be busy or to feel as if you have to look busy or other people will judge you as being lazy or selfish or just generally not sufficiently worthy. And it's all too easy to base our self-worth around this, on how busy we are or on how busy we're perceived to be, what we achieve, what we produce. And this can encourage feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, what's often referred to as imposter syndrome, and ultimately lead to burnout. But true productivity is not about how busy you are or how many tasks you tick off. It's about what you actually manage to achieve and the impact that that's having on your business and on your life as a whole. Because at a deeper level, we need to work out what success really means for us. Because while money is absolutely important and helps a lot with getting more choices and freedom, it's not that important as an end in itself. So what does this mean in practical terms? How can we implement the idea of slow productivity in our business? Firstly, as Cal Newport suggests, it's about prioritising, and that means deciding what are the things that are going to take us the furthest towards what we really want. And of course that means we have to get clear, as I mentioned, about what it is that we really want. And then it's about only focusing on a small number of things at one time and taking those in sequence step by step rather than trying to juggle millions of things at once, which will only lead to us feeling overwhelmed and overloaded. When something pops up that appears to be urgent, instead of stopping what we're doing to deal with it, we need to be more disciplined and put it into our workflow for a suitable time. So for example, you might have an hour a day where you respond to emails and quick queries, and the rest of the time is firmly allocated to either client work or to planning and marketing, in other words, working on your business. Because while technology has undoubtedly revolutionized the way that we work and communicate and freed us up in some ways, it has also introduced new challenges and new distractions, and the constant barrage of emails, notifications and social media updates can make it really difficult to maintain focus and concentration if we let it. But I'm pretty sure that when you're working with your clients, you don't allow yourself to be distracted by emails or messages popping in. So you simply have to give your work the same respect, turn stuff off and focus for a set amount of time when you're working on content creation or planning a launch, for example. This is sometimes referred to as monk mode, and you may well be amazed how much you can actually achieve when you work in this totally focused, distraction-free way. But it's not all about working in a focused way, in fact, important though that is. It's also about not working. If you want to be truly productive, you also need to take breaks. And I don't mean scrolling idly through social media and then realizing, oops, I've spent 40 minutes on that. I mean actually taking breaks away from your desk in a meaningful and intentional way. Maybe you'll get outside, maybe you'll have a bit of exercise, maybe you'll have something sustaining to eat. Giving breaks some kind of priority. And much like the people in Iceland who were more productive working 4 days a week than 5 days a week, there's also plenty of research to show that people who take proper breaks are also more productive than those people who just push on through regardless. But doing all of these things also requires us to set better boundaries around our time and availability. And this is an ongoing process if you're a bit of a people pleaser, which I know I am at heart. But it is no kindness to yourself or to them to be unclear about what is or isn't okay, because it's just going to lead to overload and burnout and resentment, which ultimately can damage relationships. So does anything I've said set off any light bulb moments for you? I'd love to hear about those in the comments. In the next video coming up on your screen, I'm digging even deeper into how you're using your precious and limited time and focusing on 5 ways that you may currently be wasting time in your business.